Hey y'all. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's talk about like four key tip strategies that I have found have helped in putting together million-dollar partnerships, right? Hey, as people are joining, hey, 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 hey. So let's just jump right in it, right? So I don't want to wait. And you guys, especially those of you that are watching the replay, are like, what are they even talking about? So let's talk about million-dollar partnerships, right? So yesterday I was talking about a brand new friend, Petra, who has this amazing horse stable where she trains horses in Phoenix, Arizona, and the surrounding areas. And like all these people can't wait to come use her. She's got a mid six figures, super lucrative business, right? And so we were talking about partnerships because she's like, Rochelle, what do you do? And so I was explaining about the new book coming out, Million-Dollar Partnerships, and all of the fun stuff that's included. And she's like, and I go, oh, what is that? And she's like, I just haven't found partnerships to work for me. And so since then I've been inspired to like share like my best tips and strategies ahead of the book coming out, right? And so today I wanted to talk to y'all about the four strategies that I always focus on, like especially when I go in with private clients to help them with their business, to help them like get this thing right, right? And so the first one is to make sure that you're right. Like everybody always wants to make it other people. But the first thing is I said, like, why would they even say yes to you? So we want them to say yes when we reach out to them. And yes, you can send a proposal, which sometimes is the next step, depending on how big the business has to be, right? Um, but in that, I always say, let's make sure that you're the authority. Like, how do you introduce yourself? How do you tell them about you? Because inevitably they're going to say, oh, well, tell me about you, right? So um, I was referred last week by my new friend, Alex Carmelli. Hey, 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 Alex. uh, and she was sharing with me how I would be a great speaker at this new summit, or actually, it's an existing summit. It's been coming out for the last 4 or 5 years. And she's like, oh my God, you'd be great on this summit. I said, perfect. So she introduced me to the summit founder. And I got an email back and it said, well, who are you? Right. And I always giggle when I get that. Right, because and I realize that now that there's a lot of people who don't know who I am, so it's like, okay, I need to kind of explain who I am, right? I can't just say I'm the baddest chick on the planet, right? I have to like lay this thing out and be like, oh, okay, well, who am I? And so part of you know part of really working on and creating lucrative million-dollar partnerships, right? Ones that are going to transform your business require you to sometimes be that person that you kind of dim your light and don't shine on, right? So stop doing that. Right? And so you forget to like put out all of your accolades, like everything that makes you you, everything that you've done thus far. I always say, hey, badasses, right? Because I know you're a badass. If you're attracted to me, if you're attracted to any of the videos, or if you watch my stuff, if you read my books, I know you're a badass, right? Because I'm a straight no chaser. Like I don't do a whole bunch of fluff. I just tell you what to do. Yes. So in this, like tip number one is making sure that you are explaining how you are a badass to the world and that they can see that you are a badass. And so sometimes, depending on the size of the partner that we are trying to connect you to, um, I will do some pre-work, right, with you and your company to make sure that we get some press about you, to make sure that have you write something, to record some interviews, get you on podcasts, right? That's a fastest thing that we can do immediately to build your authority. So, tip number one is making sure you have an established authority, right? Why would I want to do a partnership? So let's say that you go to McDonald's and you say, hey, McDonald's, I have the best, right, strategy for you to build McDonald's and to add another billion. Yeah. Okay. And they come back and they go, well, we'd be excited. Who are you? And you go, well, I don't know. I just had this idea. I do social media, or I have this recipe, and the recipe. No, like how you have to present yourself, right? And sometimes it is that you need to show up, yes, as the baddest chick on the planet. You need to show up as, this is what I do, and this is why you would choose me, right? More than anyone else. So we have to make sure that, number one, that you're leading with authority, right? So that's tip number one. Tip number two is do stock. Yes, stock. I mean, like, go figure out who they are, your potential partner. So I like to spend some time just kind of researching them, figuring out like what they like, who they like, what their policies and procedures are, how often they communicate with who's out there, right? Because the worst thing ever could be that they ain't who you want. Yes. And now you're kind of tied to this person. You don't want it to be a surprise. You want it to be, I know exactly who you are. Your fundamentals align with my fundamentals. Um, I've got a checklist, by the way, that's got like 8 to 10, no, 10, I think 10 things on it that I always look at to make sure that this is a partner that I want to do partner, right? So that's tip number two, is make sure that you stalk them a little bit and figure out and make sure that your values align with them. And that this is somebody that you want to form a long-term relationship with. All right. Number three, here's the next tip is, where should you find like really great partnerships? So I always look for non-competing industries, yes, to your business, but somebody who sells to your ideal customer either before or after you, right? Like they may be, let's say you are a home builder, yeah, and you create a partnership with a furniture store. Yes. Or a furniture store is like, look, somebody's moving into a brand new house. A home builder would be an ideal partner for me. Then you look to see what they do. So one of my really good friends and clients is Debbie Summers, and she owns Summers Furniture. And so her partnership is, she had it with the luxury brand home builder in Las Vegas, right? The top luxury builder, because her furniture was on the expensive side. So it's not something you go to Ashley's and buy, right? It's outdoor furniture, it's custom. They have to have a decent enough backyard to buy her furniture. A small backyard, her furniture would look out of place. Yes. And so those are the partnerships that she made, looking at somebody who sold right before her, right? So when you go and buy this beautiful home with a custom home builder, you want custom backyard furniture. And so that's what she sold to them. All right. And then tip number four, right? Because I don't want to keep you here too long. I just want to make sure that we get all of the things that you want. Tip number four is that you want to be clear and concise when you approach them. And so with one ask, right? Not with multiple asks. So you want to go in and say, hello, my name is blank. I do blank. I can help you do blank. I would love to have, and then whatever your next step is. I always say a 15-minute conversation, right? 15 minutes. Everybody's pretty much got 15 minutes. You can do it over the telephone. It doesn't have to be Zoom. It doesn't have to be all this other stuff. 15-minute conversation so that now you can pitch them. Yes. But one ask, clear and concise, and one ask. So just to recap the four things that will help women entrepreneurs really create and cultivate $1 million partnerships is number one is make sure that you are the trusted authority, because the last thing we want is that you give them the strategy and then they go pick somebody else who's the trusted authority, right? So we want to make sure that they pick you. The second thing is that you stalk them first before sending anything out to make sure that they are in alignment with what you do. Number three is that you look for, if you're struggling with finding the proper partner, is you look for somebody who sells immediately before or after you. And then lastly is that you are clear and concise and have one ask in your first outreach so that now they can say yes or no, right? Yes or no is great. Either is better than neither. All right. My name is Rochelle Shaw. And of course, I am the author of The $1 Million Equation and of the new book, $1 Million Partnerships, that's coming out late 2024. But I didn't want you to have to wait for some key tips so that you can start building your $1 million business right now. All right. Hey, if you have any questions, please let me know in the chats. Or if you're seeing this on replay, let me know where you are at, and then we can connect then. All right. Thanks. Oh, if you want the checklist for the proper partners, or if you'd like the script on how to do the outreach, just let me know that too, and we'll give it right to you. All right, thanks. Have a good one. See you later.